So I've about had it with the Cyberpunk talks. I've about had it with the goddamn Marcin Iwicki, Adam Badowski, Adam Kinchitsky, all the people involved with CD Projekt Red. I've about had enough of it. But you know what? It's time to finally bury it for good. Cyberpunk is going down. CD Projekt Red is going away. You say The Witcher 3 was fantastic. Well, I say all you were in it for was the smut. To look at some naked women. That's really all it was. And yeah, the scenes are pretty nice. I mean, I guess for a non-video game, which it's a video game, so it's kind of weird that this is the selling point, but I guess it's a very notable defining point of the generation that is taking over. Yeah, you can't go out and get a woman, so you'll watch it on The Witcher or Cyberpunk, and I understand, yeah, those scenes are pretty good, they're pretty steamy. But as a gamer, they mean nothing to me. As somebody who wants a worthwhile experience playing an RPG in a super futuristic, highly detailed world, I gotta say, shut that shit down. No exceptions. Because it is time to get down to those brass tacks, possibly for the final time on Cyberpunk 2077. Ooh, CD Projekt Red. Finally, it's time to get down and dirty with the reality of the situ-fucking-ation. Here we go, folks. Now, I'm no expert, but doesn't it look like to you that perhaps what happened here is a meme became a multi-million-dollar game? Well, it's all very, very possible at this point, because the leaks that just occurred, thanks to those wonderful people who took the source code and showed the reality of the situation, thanks to them, they showed that this game is a joke. They made joke reels back in the early days of Cyberpunk being broken, and I'm talking 2013, people. Holy smokes. Can you even imagine the amount of time, money, and effort put into this? And they made little jokes. Oh, they made their own little broken reels, just like the one you see here. I tell you what, when I saw all of this happen in the early days, I was like, oh my god, this is forever going to be busted. And yes, indeed, it is still busted to this day, as you will soon see. Maybe not this insanely bad, but God almighty, this is so horrendous. Anyone defending this seriously needs a brain checkup. Someone to go inside of their mind and take a look, because what is wrong with you people? How do you defend this? At this point, there is nothing you can do to defend it. All you're doing is making an ass out of yourself. The reason we're going back to the early days is to, well, I just need to show you how little progress has been made. Yeah, it functions a little bit better, but in reality, it doesn't function anywhere near as a finished game should. Like, oh my god, I still see some of these T-poses, and it's just hilarious. I mean, they last a lot less. Sometimes it'll be a quick flash of a T-pose, but holy shit. You know what I still see? Double NPCs, triple NPCs, sometimes even 4 NPCs that are exactly the same. Specifically, some footage I have of the hookers in some golden outfits, and this right here is the image that broke Cyberpunk. And guess what? Yes, indeed, it just continues. You guys may have only seen little bits and pieces, but one of the Cyberpunk videos that I love the most is probably the least watched despite having the most views. I tell ya, the reality is, I wanted you guys to see the entire damn situation that is Cyberpunk 2077. I wanted you guys to know how much they failed us. You know, with Adam Badowski stepping down from Cyberpunk 2077 as creative director, well, let me just tell you, if you think things were bad before, they're about to get, well, can they get worse? Yes, they can. They can definitely get worse. Anyone looking forward to the DLC, anyone looking to expand their Cyberpunk experience, well, I'm sorry to say, things do not look good on the horizon. Any bugs to be fixed? I don't see it happening. Any solutions to the actual problem? They're never coming. I think they're just moving forward on business, on DLC business, and really, I'm not sure that's going to fulfill any of the promises that were held before. I mean, CD Projekt Red really just trampled on the hearts of their fans. And their fans sit there, and they took it like champs. And they continue to take it like champs. Hopefully we can wake them up. Perhaps through a nice reality check through a video. Or perhaps we'll smash 50 copies of Cyberpunk. Oh, no, I'm not wasting my time that much. If people want to remain asleep, that's perfectly fine. That's fine, you know. Go through life as a zombie. Me, on the other hand, I'm awake. And I'm aware. And the fact that everyone is still defending this game, well, not everyone. Obviously, not everyone is dipping their fingers into the Kool-Aid. But currently, there are people. If you go to Twitter, if you go to any of the articles on Facebook or any of the fan pages, oh my God. There is one hell of a following for this game still. And CD Projekt Red as a whole. And, well, the reality is, some people just never wake up. No matter how broken something is, no matter how you unveil the reality, how you show the cracks. And there are cracks all over the place with this game. I mean, just permanently. There's nothing you can do. It interrupts the story and interrupts the flow. It doesn't feel like a real world. Police still don't chase you. No NPC really matters. None of the missions really result in anything special happening. I mean, the end is the end, and there are some deaths, thank goodness, but really, the whole game is just a hollow experience, and trust me, I have played the hell out of it. I have played the hell out of Cyberpunk. I'm probably their biggest fan. I mean, I don't like them. I hate Cyberpunk, and I hate CD Projekt Red. But I'm probably their biggest speaker on their behalf. At this point, I mean, yeah, we've got channels that do weekly Cyberpunk updates, but come on now, there's nothing to update. At the end of the day, you're just talking out of your ass, and really, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to get down to the brass tacks. And the only way we can do that is to examine the reality. So a lot of the times I get comments like, "Oh, Dylan, you're not supposed to play it like Grand Theft Auto." Well, how am I supposed to play it? I'm at level 50 on both sides, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? So I go around blasting, and I see some gangsters, and all of a sudden I see something I've never seen. A flailing, wacky... Oh my god, that's insane! I've never seen a flailing arm NPC trying to engage in combat. It's like, holy shit, that's just so sad, man. I gotta take another look at that. So when we slow it down, oh my god. I don't know how anyone thinks this spaghetti code can ever be fixed, but my god. That's pretty amazing. That's some gun fu if I've ever seen it. No, man. Oh, no. Oh, and here's a new one as well. People get stuck in cars all the time for me now. Anytime I engage in combat with NPCs and there's vehicles about, they walk straight into the middle of the vehicle, and it's like they're just stuck there forever. And it kind of sucks. These action mechanics are pretty smooth, and I actually like some of the combat elements. But then you get shit like this that's just so sad. NPC takes 2 shotgun blasts to the face and then burns. Really just unbelievably, just unbalanced and all over the place. And there you see, obviously 1.22, no one really combats me in this, but it's a fact. And yeah, you still float through doors. I don't understand. Why does anyone argue for this game? Why do they care so much? It's as if their dad is the developer and I'm pissing on his art. And let me just say, in any other game with an open world, when I crash into a bunch of cars for some kind of effect, usually people react in some kind of way that makes sense, no matter how bad the game is, no matter how linear or tragically bad the world is. This is usually no problem to program, and I am calling out the programmers here, man. Like, dude, I understand things were pushed ahead sooner than they need to be. And yeah, that's on the game's end right there. Things were pushed out sooner than they needed to be, but the developers are still completely incompetent. And geez Louise, this is so bad. This is so eye-opening. Everyone should wake up and smell that coffee at this point, because it can't be ignored. We were totally scammed. CD Projekt Red really got us, and oh my god, this is still shocking to this day. To this day, I am still shocked that this was allowed to be released. And I've been looking at other reviewers and seeing what they said about it, and damn, it really is eye-opening, you know? You know, it wouldn't be so hard to fix such a mess if they didn't start with such a terrible foundation. I mean, the NPCs literally disappear right in front of me. Literally just disappear right in front of me. And I do this multiple times, and everyone's seen it at this point, but I need to keep showing it because people don't wake up. And there you go. It seems only the architects and musicians really had their shit together, as such a beautiful city just sits with nothing happening in it. I seem to walk around and examine things a little closer than, well, the developers would probably like me to, as I see so many locations with such low-resolution textures that I am just mind-boggled. And this isn't even a place I had to really try and get to very hard, and as you can see, I walked here, so I'm not forcing the game to work extra hard, but when it doesn't even load the damn textures, we really have a fucking problem there. And then you have these people who come at me and say, oh, Dylan, you're playing a next-generation game on a previous-generation console. No, it is not a next-generation game. If it was, it would have blew my socks clean off. It was never going to be anything good because these are corporate people who only interested in making money. Only interested in that and nothing else. In the tradition of transparency, I'd like to tell you that when collecting all this footage, I usually just walk around and try and see what happened. This took about 20 minutes to gain all of this footage. Really, it shouldn't have taken that long, but at the end of the day, things like this happen where I'm just examining the little Lego traffic cars that are supposedly, you know, trying to sell the world, trying to immerse us, but really it just looks like a joke, a clown show happening right in front of my face, and this happens. This right here is what I'm talking about. There are more unfinished spaces and holes in the map than I have ever seen in any game, and no, I didn't try to clip through the wall. People have said that to me too. Oh, Dylan, you forced that to happen. Did I force that to happen just now? When it gets down to it, with such a massive landscape to pretty much maintain and keep an eye on and really just make sure that all the spaghetti doesn't fling together and get tangled, well, it gets tougher. When you make an open world with so much shit going on like this, and I mean, there's not genuinely a lot going on, it's more like there's just so much space to cover. There's so many rooms, there's so many damn areas that are just flooded with a bunch of details no one cares about at all. Like, why is there even a dildo shop? Why is there a sex shop? Why are there drug dealers who don't sell you drugs? Why is it you're allowed to purchase brain dances, but your software can't even use them? brain dances, if you didn't know. They're just virtual worlds where you go in and live through that moment. And it's just stacked and stacked with content that probably should have been there. They were probably intending on creating that, but they just bit off so much more than they could chew. Holy shit. And out of all the offenses, I consider this to be one of the greatest, where just so much shit is driving around out there, but really it's not. Anytime you try to get close to a car or traffic, it just disappears. And this is what we would call cutting corners. Because they can't program actual large amounts of traffic, they have to fool you, the dumb gamer, the dumb consumer, that this is real. Sometimes I just try and sit there and think of what could have been, and then I realize, oh, they showed us what could have been through the Night City wires and all that fake footage they were sending around just like a propaganda machine. Propagating lies, benefiting from those lies, and making money off you, the person who said, oh my god, I want to be immersed in the next generation of games. I want to be immersed in this next generation of what's to come. I want to be immersed in an RPG that takes it farther than any RPG has ever done. Now, regarding the 2013 footage leaks that just dropped, I tell you this. You should go out and seek them out. I can't post them here because I will certainly get a copyright warning, and I do not want that. But the reality is, I'm only waiting for this ship to sink. I'm waiting for the Titanic to go down. We have already hit said iceberg. I am now just biding my time, waiting for that DLC to drop.
Hey, Gary.
You know what I'm looking at? Us Cracks concert announcement. This is not fucking happening!
Wait, what? I thought we took care of it.
Truck didn't do shit.
Now you're probably saying, oh Dylan, you must have had fun if you put 200 hours into it. Well, yeah, I would love to have had more fun if it worked better. But situations like this where I try to drop into combat and just everything goes wrong. Literally everything goes wrong in the combat situation, and it's just, that's what you do the most. That's what the fucking game is. You're going around shooting. That's what the game is. And now you want to say, oh, I got my samurai sword, Dylan. It's not all about shooting. Well, no one really cares. Even CD Projekt Red said, we're not pleased with the damn melee combat, so we're pushing the game back. In reality, what that was a smokescreen to make you think that things are going on track. But if you see here, an update I noticed decreases the amount of gore from a dead body. So pretty terrible they're censoring themselves at this point. Now there's a lot to take in there, but I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's slow it down and go back to the beginning of the combat. Right when I fire the weapon, my hands turn into jelly and they stretch to the ground, and it's just really like Elasti-Woman. And, well, it only gets worse from here. As I try to drop into combat, there's this function that happens when you fall from a higher distance. And frankly, this is the dumbest goddamn function of almost the whole game. When you hit the ground, there's a few seconds where you're just stuck. So even while there's nothing going on, things still look like shit, just like that explosion, and there's no physics. If someone was sitting in a chair and you shot it out from under them, they float in midair. Even when I try to immerse myself more and more and have fun with the combat, things like this still occur, and what are you going to do to tell me that's just okay?
Get out of town before it's too late!
In conclusion of today's video, I can't help but feel like I'm repeating myself. This is just a fact. This game can't be fixed. There's nothing you can do. Anyone who wants to say otherwise, well, come at me. Because really, when you put a body in the trunk and it still flies to your arms, just like it did before any of the patches happened, well, I tell you what, nothing has been fixed, nothing has been solved, And it seems no one really cares if you already like the game, you're gonna permanently like the game, because, well, at the end of the day, people turn a blind eye to the fact that they're precious little CDPR, who made The Witcher 3, which to me is not really much of a comparison. It's really just the same situation, if you ask me. But there are those fans who will sit there and say, oh, CD Projekt Red can do no wrong. Well, I tell you what, I'm showing the cracks, I'm showing the reality, I'm showing everything that happens here in this game that is a fallacy. And I tell you what, if you think CD Projekt Red is going to hit that home run with The Witcher 4 or anything else that comes out after this, and they are talking about going back to being mobile games more than anything, and I'm so happy to hear that us console people who actually play real games and deserve actual products, well, we can say goodbye to these worthless scum. That's my hope, that they'll just move on to something else, because they're muddying up the console game so badly. I really hope CDPR thinks about what they've done and how bad they've sent us back. Now we cannot trust any developers ever again, and frankly, it is fucking time to say no more.